Thank you. So now I will give the floor to our next speaker. Thank you so much, Elias, for joining us again.
Thank you, and have a great seminar. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Great, so now we have Mr. Perera, Lasitha Perera, he's joining us from the UK. He's the co-founder and chief executive officer of the Development Guarantee Group and the Green Guarantee Company. He will share with us today really exciting news about an upcoming scheme. So I will leave the floor to him, don't take much more time. And enjoy the session. Thank you.
Thank you, Christine. Hello, everyone. I'm just going to check if... Oh, there we are. So it's a pleasure to meet you all and to be here today with you. Maybe I'm going to start a little bit. Well, first things, I realize that I'm the only thing that's standing between you and lunch. And I can also assure you that I won't need the full half an hour, so we will get there in time. But today I really want to talk a little bit about who we are as the Development Guarantee Group. So just to introduce myself personally, my career has been 50% working with banks and institutional investors, getting them to invest in difficult projects, and 50% with working in guarantees. And for the last 15 years, I've been I've been involved in setting up about 10 different guarantee companies, and I was running one called Garanco for a long time, which was focused on local capital markets, and then I left in 2021 to co-found the Development Guarantee Group with some other people that had been also working with me on different setting up guarantee companies. And the reason we set up the Development Guarantee Group was that what we found with, we've heard today about how the fact that guarantees are very powerful, but there are just not enough of them. And that's really what we are trying to solve, that problem, right? And our focus of the Development Guarantee Group is very much about mobilizing the private sector. And from that perspective, that's sort of always the starting point when we look at something. How do we make sure we're being additional in terms of moving the private sector to fill a funding gap that we think they should be able to do? And in that sense, our business is split into three bespoke areas. The first is an advisory business. So we work with a number of organizations that you're probably familiar with and a number that are not. But we essentially work with them to help set up where they are trying to set up a guarantee company themselves or program. So to give you an example, the European Development Finance Institutional Association, we help them set up their SME guarantee program. And we've also provided advisory for KfW for a program which I'm going to talk about a little bit later. And then when we have got to a point where we're advising and we think actually this is something that could be built, sometimes our clients turn to us and say, we need you to help us build it. So for example, we worked with a client called the Ocean Risk Resilience Action Alliance, which is an NGO that focuses on trying to protect the ocean. And they asked us to develop a business plan for a guarantee company, and we did. And then they said, fantastic, now can you build it? So then we moved to the next part of our business, which is around project development. And so we're building this ocean guarantee company, which we call Nautilus. And we're hoping that that'll launch in a couple of years. And then once the company is launched, we can also offer to manage it for our clients. So in the case of our asset management arm, at the moment, we have 2 guarantee companies under management. One is called the Green Guarantee Company, which I'll talk a little bit about in a second. And the other is called Scaling Alternative Finance for Entrepreneurs, which is SAFE, which is not yet operational, but what we're hoping to bring to the market by the end of this year. That is backed by KfW and by the European Union. So let me start firstly by talking a little bit about the Green Guarantee Company. The Green Guarantee Company exists to solve almost the opposite problem to why a lot of your guarantee companies exist. A lot of your guarantee companies exist on focusing on developing the domestic capital markets. The Green Guarantee Company is looking at the alternative problem. How do we get global capital markets to invest more in your countries, right? Particularly for large-scale climate infrastructure. If you look at the climate finance gap and you look at how much local capital is available, there just simply isn't enough. The local capital markets are not yet deep enough to meet all the financing demands of the climate transition. So it is really important we get the $100 trillion sitting outside in global capital markets to also participate. But it's also important that it participates on fair terms and on a long-term basis. At the moment, developing countries can access only short-term financing at very high interest rates, which are not truly reflective of the risk that these investors are taking. The Green Guarantee Company exists to try and address that problem. So we can provide guarantees at the moment up to $50 million for 20 years. And we have a BBB rating, which allows us to bring down the cost of financing to something that's more affordable. If I can give you an example, we're working at the moment in Sri Lanka, which is a country that is in sovereign default. So it has a lot of financial fiscal problems. However, we're taking a UK pension fund 17 years to fund a solar power plant in that country. And the terms of that financing is actually more competitive than what the IFC can offer. So we can bring global capital on a very commercial basis at affordable terms. It just requires us to provide a guarantee. And that's the power of the guarantee. Yeah? So the reason I'm talking to you a little bit about the Green Guarantee Company today is because tomorrow, as part of our academy, I will talk to you about how we approach ESG and climate from our perspective as the Green Guarantee Company. So today is really a little bit about who the Green Guarantee Company is and why it exists. One of the other things that in which we also focus on is partnership. The power of the guarantee is that actually we cannot do anything without partnership. And so when we look at the Green Guarantee Company, not only do we partner with investors by covering them, but we also partner with the banks in terms of helping them build our pipeline and do that. We do not have an origination function. We work only through the banks. That is to show the banks that actually we're not a competitor. We are an enabling tool for them, but also in part to help them also understand they need to start looking at building pipeline in the global south for international investors as well. At the moment, there is no financial incentive for these large banks, these large global banks, to build the pipeline. So by providing the guarantee on an accessible basis, we're creating this incentive for them to start building the pipeline. I always smile when I hear people telling me there are no projects, where's the pipeline in the global south? I cannot understand that because the need is obvious, right? The pipeline is everywhere. What we need are financial institutions incentivized to build the pipeline, to work with the local actors and build their capacity and do that. By creating the Green Guarantee Company, we're creating the incentive to the banks. They say, actually, we can make this deal doable, bankable for you. It can happen. Here are the investors who are prepared to do it. So that is really what we're trying to achieve here. There's a little story I like a little bit about this Green Guarantee Company as well. So the Green Guarantee Company is funded at the moment by the UK government, by the Green Climate Fund, by Norway, and also by the government of Nigeria, which is a little bit unusual, but the Sovereign Wealth Fund of Nigeria is an investor in the Green Guarantee Company. The story of that is actually that one of the guarantee companies I helped create was a guarantee company in Nigeria. And the purpose of that guarantee company was to try and mobilize institutional investors in Nigeria into infrastructure. At the time when we were looking at doing this, institutional investors were investing zero in infrastructure in Nigeria. So we created the guarantee company InfraCredit Nigeria. In fact, I think I heard the gentleman from GGG say that they were talking about it as well earlier. And that company was very successful. It's moved the pension funds in Nigeria from investing zero to investing hundreds of millions of dollars in their own infrastructure. That level of transformation happened in 7 years, very, very quickly, yeah? And so as a consequence of that success, when we said we were going to set up the Green Guarantee Company to solve the other problem, as I mentioned, bringing investors from outside Nigeria into Nigeria, the Sovereign Wealth Fund of Nigeria said, we believe in this, we want to try and help and make it happen. So that's a really great story. We're very proud of that one. Okay, let's move forward. So here's the reason that I'm here to talk to you today. Really, it's to tell you a little bit about something that's coming down soon, and its objective is to work with you. And therefore, actually, the reason I'm here is I've taken the opportunity, and thank you to Christine and the EMGN for giving me this opportunity to be here with you, is to actually get to know you all and to start talking about how we can collaborate. As I said earlier, partnership is really fundamental to what we do, and we do not believe this new program is going to be successful if we do not partner with your local guarantee companies as well. So what is this? Scaling alternative finance for entrepreneurs is very much focused on trying to find, if traditional, the idea is this, if traditional banks are not financing micro SMEs and entrepreneurs, who are financing those micro SMEs and entrepreneurs, and can we help those alternative finance solutions scale? So these could be leasing companies, this could be even buyers or supplier credits. So to give you an example, we're looking at an opportunity in Lebanon. As you will be familiar, the country obviously has significant challenges at the moment. One of those is that at the moment as well, a lot of the small micro SMEs are focusing on using diesel generation for electricity, and it's very expensive to buy the diesel and to get it into the country and to acquire it. However, they could easily transition to solar, but developers of solar for SMEs in the country cannot access credit to buy the equipment. However, one of the developers, larger developers, came to us with a solution. They can buy the equipment on credit if they have a guarantee from somebody to the supplier for 5 years. That creates a supplier credit solution. So it's not a financial institution. It's actually a manufacturer of solar equipment who is going to provide the financing with the guarantee to the developer in Lebanon, who will then install it for the SMEs and give them credit as well to pay back and time. This allows them to access more SMEs in that country and to make things happen. There is no guarantee solution that they could find, and so SAFE is looking to try and help them when it comes online at the end of this year by providing that guarantee. So that is an example of where there is an alternative financing solution that could be scaled, but is not being provided by a traditional bank. The traditional banks in Lebanon do not want to lend at the moment. Yeah. So this is where we are looking at opportunities that may not fit within your mandate, but then we can step in because we have more flexibility to look at alternative solutions and financing options. Yeah. If you look at statistically SME markets in developed countries, alternative finance is typically in 50 to 60% of those financing markets at the growth stage. It's only past that growth stage do the traditional banks get involved. I don't know if that's what your own experience has been in your own countries, and it would be helpful for me to learn more about what your own experience is in this. But this is where we see this opportunity is to help scale. And our hope is that we can work with you and your organizations to partner and create solutions that make sense in your countries as well around this, and we can become a risk-sharing partner for you in doing that as well. As you can see, we operate in pretty much all of your countries. I think, unfortunately, we're not operating in Saudi Arabia just yet, but I can give you the card of the person to call to talk about that. But fundamentally, our footprint is the same footprint as the EMGN. Yeah. What you also will notice is that there's a lot of different kinds of funding that we can look at. What you will notice that is not on that list is traditional banks. We are not interested in guaranteeing traditional banks. That is not why we exist, right? You exist at the moment to guarantee the traditional banks. You may even be able to guarantee a lot of those products that we are on there, and in that case, all we want to do is partner with you and help you do more. But then there may be products on there which you are not able to, by mandate or by law, do, and that's potentially where we can help you and partner with you as well. So today is really a hello. We want to say we're coming, and we want to find ways to work with you and do that. Yeah. So I told you, I keep my promises. I wasn't very long, but I have now lots of time for questions. So if you have any questions, then please let me know, and happy to take them.
So thank you so much. First, I would like a round of applause for this really good presentation, an inspiring presentation as well. So please, the floor is yours. Also, our members online, feel free to open your microphone and raise a question. Do we have any question from the room? It can also go both ways. If you have specific questions for our members in the room, also feel free to ask any.
Can I ask a question then? Let's reverse this round. How many of you can guarantee fintechs? So, and is that Jordan or?
So we have France, Saudi Arabia, Morocco, and I don't know, Jordan? Yes, and Jordan.
And how many of you can guarantee venture capital?
Morocco.
Okay.
And Jordan.
And Jordan?
ISSF الصندوق الأردني للريادة ISSF it goes for venture capital not under the umbrella of Jordan Loan Guarantee Corporation. It's a different entity.
But is it investing or is it guaranteeing?
Both. لا, not guarantee. They
Okay.
are investing.
Okay,
Yes.
investing in venture capital.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. And how many of you can guarantee leasing companies?
How many?
All of you, okay. Interesting. So this is where what we're finding, a lot of people are coming to us and asking for our product now. When we're talking, there's a lot of external venture firms that want to come and invest. So for example, Egypt, I don't know if Egypt is present here, but we've been approached by a number of venture capital firms looking to invest in Egypt into different SME financing platforms, and they want the guarantee to cover current country risk. So what we expect is that we may, from an external financing perspective, our role will be more or less a political risk insurance type product. So bringing money from the outside into the country. And on the domestic side, again, we would want to, our first step will be to sit down with all of you individually and to start understanding where you think we need to support you in being able to do more. But I find what we're seeing at the moment, venture capital is the biggest area that we should be playing a role, is what we're getting back in terms of feedback. Depending on country, I think it depends. We're hearing on leasing is going to be an area that we need to do more. And the area that actually nobody has thought about until we came across this example in Lebanon is supplier and buyer credit. So that's where SMEs are in a supply chain, and maybe the buyer is, for example, Carrefour in France, and they want to buy from Egypt or Morocco, and they will extend credit to the individual SMEs, but they want the guarantee to be able to do that. That is something that we can look at doing. Yes, please.
For Jordan Loan Guarantee Corporation, we have a specific program for credit guarantee insurance, export credit guarantee insurance. We give guarantee against the non-payment of the buyer outside the country.
Okay.
Yes, we have this type.
And that's for SMEs?
For SMEs, yes. For the exporter, Jordanian exporters, industrial companies.
Okay.
Yes, we have this.
And do other guarantee companies have similar programs? Yes? Saudi Arabia? Okay. So it's interesting. I think there's all these opportunities for collaboration even between yourselves, actually. So.
Under this program, we guaranteed almost $260 million.
Wow.
It goes to 40 countries for 340 buyers outside, specifically for food industry and chemicals.
Okay.
Yes.
And how much is that to sort of individual entrepreneurs? How big does an SME have to be before they can access your company?
This different for the export. For the export, we are reaching the Jordanian exporters. For entrepreneur, we go for loan guarantee program, and they have to go to the banks firstly and submit their application with a preferential criteria for them, and we can lend them or guarantee them up to 500,000 JD for the entrepreneur.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Wonderful. Okay, so I think we're going to have some very interesting conversations in the next few months.
Yes.
All right.
Any other questions from the room? Maybe
I have one
yeah,
question,
go ahead.
please.
If you can just talk a bit closer.
Do you offer a direct financing on a low interest rate for the ECAs, export credit insurance, or loan guarantee companies?
Do we provide direct financing?
Oh.
No, we can only provide guarantees.
No.
But we could provide a re-guarantee to you.
Re-guarantee?
Yeah.
Okay.
To try and help you do more. Yes.
Okay. So we have to be in touch.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Very good, thank you. So yeah, one of my question to you was, with this project, so you intend to work only with guarantee institution locally, or do you also intend to issue direct guarantee to other type of financial institution?
So we are, where our preference is to always work with the local partner, the local guarantee company. But where potentially, for example, there is, say, a leasing company in Jordan, and they want to raise money externally to grow their business, then we may provide a guarantee directly to the company, to the alternative finance company directly in that scenario. But we will always be talking with the local partners as well, just to make sure that everything is aligned and we're not interested in crowding out. That makes no sense for us, and it's not our philosophy either. So always the question will be, let's have an open dialogue. What is the best solution for the situation, and how can we be helpful? So.
Thank you. I think that was very clear. If we do not have more questions, then I would ask for a new round of applause. Really, thank you so much for the presentation. Very good. Now we have some time before, so we will need to move toward the bigger room, because we were asked by the UFM to join them for the picture, for the group picture. So as you know, there is a side event going on. It's a larger event from the UFM Digital Sustainable Week. And there are also other workshops going on, so not only EMGN, but other workshops. So we will all be joining them in their main room to listen. I think they're about to finish the last presentation, take a picture, and then we will join them as well for lunch. Okay? So we can move over there. Thank you so much.